Hey guys, Dr. P checking in. I wanted to share with you a study called the ACE study, the Adverse Childhood Experiences study. This was a study that followed 17,000 children, as defined as, less than 18 years of age across their lifetime, and tried to figure out why many of them were living like 20 years less than the average population, why many of them had suffered issues like alcoholism and smoking, drug abuse, suicide attempts, obesity, depression, unintended pregnancies, homelessness, unemployment. And then also diseases of many types: COPD, ischemic heart disease, liver disease, sexually transmitted diseases, lung cancer, and ultimately death at a much younger age than the average population. And what was so sad about this study was that what they determined is that if a child witnesses or experiences these adverse childhood events, they are set up for failure, basically. And not just failure like, oh, they didn't get the promotion, but like literally can't find a spouse, literally will die 20 years younger, literally will have a life of suffering. And it all begins in childhood. I actually found out about this study when I was doing my rotations in psychiatric facilities across the U.S., and specifically in Pennsylvania, I should just say. And I just kept meeting person after person who was there for suicidality and psychosis, who, when I was trying to unpack their story, would just endlessly start with problems that occurred in their childhood. And these were individuals that were in their late 30s, their 40s, their 50s. And I was just trying to make sense of it all. And as I was doing research on why everyone just seems to perseverate on their childhood when they're conceivably decades older than, being a child, it just was like a glacier falling when I came across this study basically indicating that these adverse childhood experiences are really important to the success and to the lifespan and to the life quality of human beings. These are very formative years, and there's a reason why our society puts so much emphasis on these at-risk people. Because we can manipulate them. We can literally change their stars and their destiny based on what we expose them to at those ages. And what's really fascinating is that, they don't even need to be the victims of these abuses directly: sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, etc. There's so many ways to harm an individual. They just have to witness them. Just as much as witnessing them is that traumatic. And then it manifests across the rest of their life in these terrible ways. The reason I think that this is relevant to fasting is that if we can ruin a person's life by subjecting them to difficult and traumatic things as children, then we can certainly think it plausible that we can extend their lives and improve their lives and set their lives on the right track by doing the correct things. I think fasting is one of those very important things that we can introduce at an early age, and it is why the church recommends that children fast as early as the age of 7. And remember, Orthodox Christian fasting is generally a pescatarian diet or a vegetarian diet or vegan diet, depending on the time of year, and it's a half to 2/3 of the year, more or less. So, the stakes are always very high, and I can see that as a medical doctor who takes care of these people on a daily basis. And if there's something that we can do to prevent our kids from having a host of pain, of illness and pain, and ultimately a short lifespan even, it's just that severe, we need to know that we can also temper and improve their lives through positive things like fasting, where they learn things like delayed gratification, they discover their true strength, that we get them to essentially harness in the pathways of addiction through something so core to us. And fasting is the answer.